Okay, welcome. I'm always happy to see all of you. And so today I have a couple announcements. So we will have very complex and very interesting themes that we will. It's a repetition of the class that was on Friday. It's about how to prepare ourselves for the eclipse season that we are already it started in June, at the beginning of June, and we already going on with all this restless energy that surrounds us. Another announcement that I want to do, that there is so many people asking me where we can post all our drawings and maybe see your feedbacks and share and see others' drawings as well. So Nat and I decided that we will, there is a group that calls Neurographica, and I type it link in the chat, and it will be in info box. So you feel free to post your pictures, some descriptions about your feelings, about your experiences, and be connected. Like, our goal is really how you can be part of the community that like-minded people, how to be part of the egregor that is give you support and acceptance, and see how everybody is unique and how everybody is colorful and how everybody is different, and accept the difference and uniqueness at the same time. So I welcome everybody who wants to join us. This will be if you can type Neurographica or Neurographica coach. It's and it's open group, so you just ask to be joined and we will accept you happily. So this is one of the announcements, and another announcement that I wanted to give is, like, I have like so many announcements today. I had a very good meditation this morning, so that's why I'm all inspired. So the second announcement, I highly grateful for people who send donations to me. So like, I cannot say enough thank you. So gratefully accept them. So let's move on. So another thing that I want to say, that we're really going on through the not easy time, emotionally not easy. I don't even talk about all this craziness that is going on around us, but how we can support ourselves, how we can prepare ourselves, find the inner peace to go through all these changes. And don't wait till the changes really hit hard us, like, but how we can expect where should I move my focus on, what should I be open to receive in my life. Because as always, stars, if you don't follow stars, they will drag you, they will force you, and they can be quite ruthless. So today we will talk about eclipses. It's very unusual that we have 3 eclipses in a row. It's not as often as it sounds. And the next, I believe, will be in 2029. So it's 3 eclipses in a row. Usually we have 4 eclipses a year, and it's considered easy, calm year. So this year we have 6, and very rarely we have 7. 7s will be, I think, 2038. I may be wrong on the date, but so it's a very rarely, but it happens sometimes. So eclipses really helps you. It's my perception of eclipses. I'm not a professional astrologer. I'm still be learning. I'm student in Astrology Academy in Moscow, and I'm student in Astrology Academy in St. Petersburg. It's both of them are Russians. So I have Russian perception to astrology. So as I see it, it's as a milestones, like where it really gives you, do you follow your karmic destiny or not? And try to move you to and focus on the goal, what you need to learn, what your soul needs to learn during this lifetime. And we need to accept it as a guidance, not as a ruthless force, because it could be forceful. So today we will work, and I invite you to find where is your peace, where is your excitement about this time, and how to really expect something beautiful coming out of it. So let's start drawing, because it's a very big theme, and I'll show you what I have already done. Because I'm teaching several classes, I've done already 3 drawings, and it's very interesting. Where did I place them? So, and you will see how different they are. So this was my very first one, and it's was too dark, so I decided to add some silver lines. This was second one, and this is the sun that starts shining, and this is the partner, my business partner that I was working on. And the last one, I was just so excited about colors, and it's blew my mind, and it like really allow the complete freedom from the shapes and from the colors, and joy, just joy from, receive this joy from the freedom, from the process, like how I can have fun during this time without really big agendas and without really stressing it out. So I invite you to experience whatever you need to experience right now. So why eclipses are happening? They happen because they full moon or new moon are getting close to the karmic knots. Karmic knots are just points in the sky, and it's so it's not really any planets. There is nothing really fixed there, but because it's already karmic, so this is really a karmic destination, and it's not just for you as a person, but for the humanity in general. So we're changing, karmic knots changed their signs, and now they in Gemini and Sagittarius, and it means that next 18 months we will be very focused on education, communication, living locally, but be connected internationally at the same time. So the communication may be international, but travels most likely will be local. So there will be a lot of road trips, there will be some short trips, maybe commuting to work, or maybe not. So depending on like what is the situation in your place. So see, what do you want to learn? Be open that the knowledge can come not from your culture, but it can come from any other destinations, from any other sources. Be open to multicultural insights and integration. So this is like, and Neurographica is such a beautiful example of it. So I offer you to try, this is my class. It's, I did not see I really did not look for any analogy how to prepare yourself. So this is my invention. So, and I've done already several times, so I know this is working. So because we're talking about karmic destiny and about karmic lesson for us, I invite you to begin this this drawing from bringing, using this, I use the chisel tip Sharpie. You can use any white pencils or any white markers and draw this way, karmic path, karmic way that really the that you need to learn, that you need to follow, to learn the lessons that is you intended to learn during this time. And we drawing this two beautiful, bold, and very powerful field lines or universal lines that are helping us to stay on this path. So we will start almost from the ending. Usually we do it at the very end, but today I invite you to start from the end, to see what I need to learn, what I need to experience during this time. So they could be, two is usually enough. So to create this tunnel and guidance, where should I go? So I usually do it from the left corner, lower corner to the right corner, because it gives me the sense of movement and growth. You feel free wherever you want. Like if you want to do it like here, if you want to do it like here, it's up to you. So find the how wide this path should be, and how bold it should be. So it's trust your intuition. So try to experience it. So now we have 3 eclipses. 2 eclipses will be lunar eclipses, and one already has happened on June 5th. It was in Russia. I'm not sure if it was June 4th in Seattle, but like around June 5th was the lunar eclipse. Another will be June 21st solar eclipse, and it will be very powerful because it happens on the solstice, and it's really gives completely different perception of energy. And the third will be another lunar eclipse that happens on July 4th in US, and it's actually will be visible in Seattle about at 9:49, around 9:49 p.m. So Texas will see, and the whole US will see it at late evening. So this, whenever we can see the eclipse, it usually affects this region the most. Okay, so it's a lot of information. So we have 3 eclipses, 2 lunar and 1 solar in the middle. I invite you to draw those 3 eclipses on your path, wherever you feel they need to be. They can be outside, they can be inside. Just see, like this is really diagnostics, how they're going to affect. And it's only you who define the size and the placement. And again, my second, and it's interesting, like it's the 3rd time I'm drawing, and it's always the second is always the biggest one for me. And because it happens right on one of my big planets. So it's, I know for sure it will be some significant changes in my life. And I'm very excited about them, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we have 3 eclipses. We draw them as circles, first of all, because it's they circle, moon and sun are circles, but we give this potential best possible outcome from them. Like the circle is really representing harmony and balance. And next step, what we are going to do, we start exploring them with lines, with narrow lines. We start draw those narrow lines and just allow to see where the energy go. Where does it go? Which one is really more important or more energized by your lines? And I'm just trying to find another marker. Let's see. So see where you really your body, it's a body is talking to you. It is body which gives you the message, and we just try to read it or feel it or experience it or just observe how does it really. And it's interesting, like so many crossings I have in the lunar eclipse that has happened already, and I still draw it. Another thing that I invite you to do, we have usually astrologers don't recommend to start anything new during the eclipse time, but some events happens no matter what, like they already scheduled and it's time to start, so there is like no way we can delay it. So allow yourself to draw those events on your drawings, wherever they belong, wherever you feel they find the best place and the best size, and just see where they want to be. And I know that we started this beautiful course about Neurographica, and I have what else? And I don't know. Like, yes.
I'm not sure what we're doing now. I didn't understand what the new circles are for.
So those circles that we're starting to bring what kind of projects you know that will happen during this next month, like till July 4th. Do you know, like, do you have any plans or any beginning that will happen no matter what?
And if you don't, just draw a circle to represent that?
Yes. Yeah. For example, we started a course, so that's why I draw a circle.
Okay.
Why do we bring these projects here? Eclipses are enormous energies, like really much more potential in eclipses than at any other full moon or new moon. So if you begin something or you're ready to complete something, you can use this energy to make it more powerful and use this energy to guide and to be part of your life for quite long time. So I know that it's some of these events that like really don't recommend to do during the eclipses, but if they are not avoidable, like if you cannot evitable, so you can use this energy to energize them and give this vitality and force. So another thing that you can draw the and the events sometimes don't need so much energy, and you can draw them on sides, like be far away or on the edge of this karmic path. So some you can name them, or you can just create potential availability for this. Yes, I'm open to have some beginnings, and I open to create space in my awareness to recognize it when it's appear. So projects, like first we do 3 eclipses. Second, what kind of new beginnings you want to do, what new beginnings, or maybe endings as well. Endings are very important, and we need to give it enough energy. And sometimes we have this struggle that, oh, I cannot, like, this relationship is like really depleting my energy and I cannot find the solution. It will be really karmic ending. So be careful, because if you separate from anybody, there will be no way you can come back to the same person. But it's a possibility to use for endings this energy as well. Another thing that what we can do, and that we may invite the support for those projects that we already placed on our drawings. Like, for example, I feel like this circle is hanging, but not really supported by anything. So I can invite this big circle that is going beyond the edge of paper, just to make sure that it's holding. It's really, I don't have to carry it on. I don't have to hang on. I can be relaxed and have this guidance and help and love from beyond, from the groundings, maybe from my roots, maybe from my ancestry line, maybe from any other sources. And maybe you want to invite people in your life, and they can give you some guidance and some support. Okay. And I don't really give exact meaning to each of them. I give this, I charge them with my emotions and with my feelings. Like, I want to feel supported and I need something to support me. That's why I drew it. I want to invite more students in my life, more people in my life, more communication in my life. So I draw the circle, and I actually want it bigger. So, and you can make it even more big, even bigger. If you want to have this some kind of change in your life, you may invite it. Maybe it's not directly during this eclipse time, but it may give the seed of this possibility that it's available, that it's start growing somewhere, that it start forming somewhere. One more thing that I highly encourage you to look back about 18 years ago, 18 and a half, the position of the same karmic nodes was the position of karmic nodes was the same. And you experience, like, look back, what kind of big events you had. Did you have any big events at that time? What has changed at that time? Maybe you remember one event in your life, maybe it was several events in your life, but try to identify what was the theme about this. Did you, maybe you learned something at that time. Maybe you moved from one place to another. Maybe there was some communication struggle or challenges at that time. So just try to remember. So for example, and while I remember, I start rounding because it's already so many lines and it can be overwhelming. So I start rounding all those corners and just try to make it cleaner. And it's only you who defines where you want to start and how many lines you want to draw. The more lines we have, the more potential, the more energy we activate inside of our psychic, and we use more and more energy from outside because we preparing this we prepare our body, we prepare our mind to accept this energy. We are not just creating, but we adjusting our mind as an instrument to accept these big resources from outside. So try to draw as many lines as you feel comfortable with. There is no need to force anything, but just try. And I coming back to the story, like what has happened to me about 18.5 years ago. It's the clue is it was happened in October 2001, right after 9/11. So what has happened? What has changed in your life at that time? Just like if there was any painful experiences, don't afraid. We will prepare ourselves so we can go smooth this time through this through the same position. So just try to remember. So for me, we just moved to US from Russia, and I had to learn the English from scratch. I really had to sign up to the college, and it was new communications. I had to learn something international and something different culture, be involved in different communities. And what it was interesting that because it was a program for the international students, I met so many people from different countries. Like when you are born and raised in quite small city in Siberia, there is no much international there. No, like it's a very rarely any international students show up in the middle of cold place. But it's more common in European part, but it's not in Asian part of Russia. Time has changed, I have to say. Like right now it's different, but it's a time in 2001, there was none. And I learned, so I met so many people from China, from India, from Mexico, from all around the world. So, and it was very interesting and very enriching and expanding experience. And right now, it's for me, it's a different experience because I'm teaching classes and I do some introduction classes on Eventbrite for Neurographica for beginners. And I have students from all around the world. I have students from, for example, on Monday, I had students from Greece, from UK, from different states of US. I have people from Romania, from Malaysia, from Ireland. So it's the same theme, but instead of learning something, I'm teaching something. So I have this still be related to education, but it's on a different side. So it's not necessarily will be repeated exactly the same as you did last time 18 years ago, but it's we'll have the same subjects in common. So if it was related to your relationships, maybe they it's and you were like 18 years ago broke up. Maybe this year the relationship will be the theme, but you maybe get married, or maybe you get going on a different level of your relationship. So just be open that and be aware that, okay, so maybe this year or this 18 months it's coming, I pay attention more to my dear one. And the relationship could be about business. It could be not just about your partner, but about your business partners. So see what has happened. And another thing that is very, very important to see what was lacking at that time. Did you have any challenges of 18 years ago, 19 years ago? Like, what was my challenge? Why, like, if there was a breakup, why did it happen? There was not enough love, or there was not enough trust. Like, what was the reason? And bring in your life this quality, invite it in your life. Like, if you had to break up with somebody because there was no openness, there was no connection, you can bring and draw the circle that will represent connection. Or clear communication. So you see what was not what was lacking, what was not enough at that time, and you really activate this energy, activate this powerful resource. And this time, so you got older, you got smarter, you got wiser, and you got more conscious about what I want in my life. So you have this freedom to invite it in your life. So many times the theme is repeated, and like, for example, usually what has happened, like, child is born, and about 18 and a half years later, or 19, the child is leaving the house to college or to live on its own. So this is one of the examples how this theme is still be around the child, and it will be emotional experiences, but it's just a different theme, different outcomes, and different purposes. So look, try to remember what has happened since October 2001 till beginning of 2003, because it's 18 months. Oh, yes, 18 months. So just be curious, like, what has happened? Did I move? Did I find a new job? Did I had to take care of my health? Maybe I started to make my first money. Maybe I moved from one place to another. See, how did it work? And another thing, like, try to see, like, did you have any, not necessary, but maybe you had some international participants, like how this other culture was involved, was it or not? I'm just curious. It's something that came up to me right now, because for me it was very clear that I had to merge with different cultures, but for you it can be, because we as I said, we have Sagittarius involved in this eclipses, and Sagittarius are always representing international, some bigger, something that is far away, and it may represent belief systems, and it may represent connection to the world in general.
Anna?
Yes?
I just missed, why it's 18 and a half year?
So 18 and a half years is a cycle that karmic nodes make the whole round around the zodiac. So it's like they moving constantly. They spend about 18 months in every zodiac, and it takes them 18.6 years to do the whole circle. And
Okay.
that's why, like in astrology, everything is a cycle. So we live in cycles, and the cycles are repeating. And just to be prepared ourselves, we need to see what kind of cycle I was, where I was, and based on your experiences in past, you may focus your energy on something that will be important for you this time.
Okay, but what if at that year people had something not really good? So when they draw this, when they should think about.
So when they had something bad, so bad is usually when something good is missing. See what was missing and invite this missing part in your life right now, right here. So if you're missing this, like if you felt, for example, at that time abandoned, or maybe lonely, or maybe betrayed, invite in your life support and love and be maybe connection, and it will be and it will give you some some help, some resources. For example, if 18 years ago you're sick and you don't want to get sick, invite healing, invite energy, invite some understanding, and maybe health healing routine that will give you this support for your body to make sure that and self-care. You can invite self-care to make sure that you really pay attention what your body needs right now, like because we usually get sick when we're ignoring some needs, and we are not just ignoring like physical needs but emotional needs as well. So I try to see like what you're lacking, like what was the lack or not enough of something last cycle, and invite it. Like if you had a very poor time, invite confidence and invite prosperity. Maybe it's something that will be enough for you this year. You changing, really changing perception, what I'm looking for. Like when it's a very important, like people so concentrated on like I don't want this and I don't want that, but ask yourself what I want instead. What do I want instead? How do I want it? Like I don't like this boyfriend. What kind of boyfriend do you want? I don't like this job. What kind of job do you want? Do you really know what you want? Because when we focused on like what you don't want, you creating all this energy around this idea, and you feeding this idea, I don't want, but for your mind, no, does not really exist. You're still feeding energy to this concept of what you have right now. Try to turn on the imagination and see what I want. Do I want to feel connected? Do I want to feel accepted? Do I want to feel safe? So if there was something scary has happened, maybe it's time to let go your fears. So I want to feel safe. This is a beautiful healing opportunity for you. You learn something and it was accepting this lesson and let it go. So if you if somebody died at that time, maybe it's time to invite somebody important, not as a substitute of that person, but as an opportunity to really experience the same emotions. Like if you miss, if you, somebody died and you feel that this was the only person who understood me, maybe it's time to invite another person in your life who will understood, who will really support without betraying like other people in your life, like without feeling judged and feeling some kind of I forgot the word, guilt, that okay, so you don't need to really punishing yourself. It's 18.5 years. And I'm talking because I've seen so many stories that like really people holding to the same theme for so long time. And maybe it's time to go, to let it go. Let it be completed. And when we complete something, we like when we done with something, especially painful, we have this enormous energy that we can focus on new beginnings, on new growth, on new experiences, on new possibilities. And it's a very important. Do not waste this energy. Do not really be overwhelmed by this. So this is my encouragement. Invite whatever you need. If it's if there is still be something that okay, so there was nothing really happened about 18.5 years, 19 years ago, but I still need this feeling to be loved, and I still need this healing that I'm looking for. Okay, invite it. Like you don't really need to ask any permissions. You can invite it at any time in your life. And maybe the karmic lesson is to be a little bit selfish, a little bit more selfish, and finally ask something for your sake, for your joy, for your, just because you are a very important part of the universe and you have the right to ask and accept it. But when it will be opportunity for you, don't hesitate, grab it. Because it's really about how I can not just asking, because like so many people are asking and asking, and don't take opportunities that really available. That's why we're drawing, like when we draw, and even with circle, we have this visualization that it's possible, it's big, or maybe it's small, and it's available. So it's on my drawing, I have this emotional connection. I honestly believe that I'm worth to have this people in my life, and I accept them gratefully, and I accept them with pleasure and love. So because I accept them because I have so much to share. I have because I want. That's all. It's enough. I want, and it's enough. I don't have to explain why I want. I don't really have to find the good reason. People are not very reasonable, if you notice. Like really, feelings are not reasonable. And it's okay. There is no big reason why I want to be happy. I just want. Okay, so how are we doing? Was it too much to swallow? Or is it?
It was good, great, very good.
Great. So pay attention, how big are your shapes? How, like, what kind of, because the size usually represents the value, your own value for this event, for this feeling. Because if you want to invite love in your life and you allow yourself like just this teeny tiny circle, this is a message for you. Why I want just so little, like, and just to see it, like if you want to invite healing and it's a huge circle, see what kind of support I need to really merge with the circle. Like, how do I feel if I have this so much energy, so much healing? Like, what I would be available to do, what I would be available to, how will I be able to process it? And maybe you need something else to process it. Maybe if you have so much healing, maybe it's time to start sharing this healing with somebody else. Maybe you will have enough to share. And this is an opportunity as well. But it's, don't really, like if you have just a teeny tiny amount of something, don't try to give it away to somebody who needs it the most. Who needs it the most can do this drawing for themselves. So don't try to save the world. When we have this big personal problems and we concentrate on peace in the world, it means that you get distracted from very deep inner work, and you're just not helping the world. You can be very poisoning the world when the whole world needs to take care of you, like your family. So try to make sure that you, first of all, you concentrated on your inner problems, on your inner growth, on your inner happiness, inner joy. And when it will be so much that you ready to share, you will not even need to be shared. You will be emanating this happiness and health and growth and joy to other people, that they will feel the same. So it's not about being selfish. It's about being responsible for your own happiness, for your own joy. So like really, it's very important to take care of yourself. So that's why when we do in Neurographica, even I believe that it's potentially it may heal others. The first of all, we do heal ourselves. We concentrated all this energy on my own being, and by healing myself, I will affect the world. So I concentrate all this energy for myself. I don't really get distracted by big ideas that I don't really have right now, maybe energy to share with the world my love, because I don't have enough love. I don't have this inner resources. So this don't feel guilty about reserving this for yourself. And I know, because I'm, as a healer, I see sometimes like the healer is like barely can move, and it's like really so exhausted and just needs a good sleep. and still helping and helping others. And at some point, they start using somebody's energy to heal themselves, because we are selfish creatures. We don't want to collapse. We want to survive. And we will take whenever we need, desperately need it. So to make sure that you don't get this desperate need, feel this void before it goes too far. So, and I like right just last week, I'm again like I discovered this Ho'oponopono method for myself, and it was like, really, I've known this method, and I know these 4 phrases that we're repeating, but I did not understand this big meaning under this. How we really taking care of ourselves without, and it will affect the rest of the world, affect other people, but we still concentrated on myself. And it's very important. Okay, so pay attention. How's your body feeling? I'm the person who doesn't give much breaks. So if you need any break, we're all adults. Don't hesitate. You don't need to ask any permissions. So please take care of your body. And come back whenever you're ready. So most likely I will repeat what I said. And I noticed that I start adding more and more circles in on my drawing. So something ready to grow. And circles can be small and big. It's not necessarily need to be huge all the time. Sometimes we have much more effective when we accept small helps, when it's instead of one big help from somebody else.
But circle doesn't really mean only help, is it right?
No, it could be help, it could be feeling, it could be situations in your life. Like if you want, I want new job, and I want, and you can invite this new job, or you can invite situations that will give you opportunity to find this job.
And when you're adding circles, you just see that something is missing, or how it came that you need a circle?
So for me, sometimes I know that something is missing, and I have this clear intention to invite it in my life. Sometimes I feel like, for example, I know that this corner is empty, and I want to balance it because it's really supporting everything else. I don't feel that I need to draw something right now, but I will see. Maybe some other elements will be more important at the beginning, and when it will be enough, I just create this one. Some of the circles, for example, this small one was already created in the curves from the lines, and I just finished and more defined them. So like, so for example, this curve already gives me the sense that this could be a circle, and I just created, like, it's actually bigger than I expected. So, and I integrate it as well. So I see what I see what I see in my drawing. I see what is, how does it really speaks to me? Like, how does it talk to me? And how does it, I feel, do I feel supported? Do I feel that everything is supported? Does everything has this strong connection to my bottom? Because bottom represents roots. And what I notice from my drawings that like I have so much energy here on top and not so much support on the bottom. And it gives me some insight that, okay, before going far away in my dreams, I need to make sure I have enough energy from the supporting energy from my ancestors, from my family, from the earth itself. I need some grounding. I need some energy, sometimes lower vibrations, to make sure that when I have these big ideas, I will have enough energy to manifest them in my life instead of just being. So just dreaming. So like be very practical about your drawings. Like we're drawing not just to feel good, but we want to create and initiate changes in our lives. Like be find resources, like really what kind of resource I'm missing. So now I know what I'm missing. I'm missing grounding. I'm missing this powerful energy that can give me the whole structure, the whole path will be supported. And I can be very generous. I don't really have to explain why I want so big, why I want so small. I just want big and I create big. And you see this whole structure is more supported. Now I just need to create this beautiful neurolines to activate and explore this energy, this resource. Like I'm learning what is kind of resource it could be. Where in my life I can find so much grounding. It could be idea, it could be some knowledge, it could be people, or maybe it's quiet time for myself. Like maybe I need some more time to sleep. Maybe I need a good diet. It's not necessarily need to be huge ideas. Like again, what is simple is usually the most effective. And it's
So, Anna,
yes.
can you use this process not only for the karmic things, but when I want to invite more good into my life?
Yes. Good in your life is really what makes us karmically happy. And again, the good in your life could be big, but it could be small ones. So more smiles on your way, like maybe some beautiful flowers that will give you, or maybe more butterflies on your way. So it could be different resources and different value of those resources that give you this feel of joy and content. Does it make sense, Roy? Did I answer your question?
Yes.
And you can see, like, and you can see, you can just draw a big circle of goodness. Like, I invite goodness in my life and I want it so much. Or maybe you draw 10, 15 small circles like bubbles around your drawing that will give you and support you and encourage you on every step of your way. So it's what makes you really happy. Do you want it big and just know this is my goodness? Or you want small ones that will give you lightness and encouragement and inspiration? So both ways will be perfect, and it will be just you who identify them as your goodness. It's only you who will give it meaning and emotional charge. And like when I was talking about small bubbles, like now I want so many small bubbles in my drawing. And thank you, Ro. I will create them.
I was thinking about small bubbles before. Thank you.
Because I'm usually so like, I'm not, I don't hesitate to draw big shapes. And I always surprised when small shapes appear in drawing. It gives completely different sense. It gives completely different personality to the drawing, and it's so light and so encouraging. So, like, really, thank you for the question.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the answer.
I wanted to see if I can find the drawing that I have so many small. Well, this one. You see how different it looks, just small balloons. It gives like it's pocket of air, fresh air that really encourages the whole big flow. And they are not big shapes that I wanted to highlight, but small ones really gives this chill and shiverings in me when I look at them. So that's interesting. Will be completely different something. In other words, that my small one's not so small. Please ask questions. I'm like, I love questions. And I know that I don't, it's easier to start talking about about something that is important for you.
So we don't necessarily have to go back 18 and a half years. I can go back maybe 5 years and add resources to what's happened back then too, correct?
So if you feel that this is the time to heal something from the like 5 years ago, you can. The like astrologically talking, the theme will be repeated from 18 and a half years back, but it's your perception and your importance. Like, okay, so something very dramatic has happened 5 years ago. Should I wait another 13 years to resolve it? No. Like, if you feel it's time, okay, you can be on faster track. Allow yourself to really to work on it. Maybe it will be played and affected the same as it's supposed to be. So everything is changing so much.
18 and a half years ago, does that have to do with Chiron?
No, Chiron is actually moving over 40 years around the zodiac.
Oh,
and this is doing with karmic nodes like Rahu, Ketu. You could hear those words, and they are it's a nodes where it's points on ecliptic when moon and ecliptic are crossing each other. So
okay, thank you.
And it's not necessarily about what I want, but what you need to learn to make sure that you're moving and evolving as a soul. And it's usually like it's usually not a very comfortable experience. It's a challenging experience. I know for myself, like for example, in my natal chart, I know that I need to learn how to be a partner, like how to be a partner and work with a partner. Because for me, be a leader, easy peasy. Like I activate, initiate, be on my own, but how to be a partner, not just in a relationship like love, romantic relationship, but how to be a partner in a business. It's challenging, and this is what my life is about, to learn.
Are you
how.
an Aries?
Yes, I am.
I'm a double Aries.
Oh, nice. I'm double too. So it's that's why I love questions. So ask as many as you feel. Which date is your birthday?
April 14th.
Okay, mine is April 8th.
And my chart is a natural natal chart.
I see you're well educated about astrology.
It's been a long time, so I don't remember a heck of a lot about it.
Yeah. So add as many lines as you want, as many circles, resources, supporting, and people in your drawing. So see, how do you feel? Do you look at your drawing and see, do I feel supported? Do I feel balanced on my drawing? Do I feel, and if I'm not balanced, what is missing? Which area is lacking? Like which area is not explored enough, maybe not something. We really, everyone has some white spots that we, for some reason, don't explore, don't even question ourselves, like why I've never go this direction. Maybe there is some possibility there, like there is some kind of tunnel vision for each of us that we don't open to explore, opened to learn. Oh, I found another possibility for small circle. Okay. And I really looking, when I do small circles, I look for this bubbles that already almost created. I just need to, the curves that almost create circles, and I just need to define them a little bit better, a little bit more bolder, and it's helps me to focus, to find the resources that are already hidden. I don't really need to start from the scratch. I need just to be open and see. Maybe I have already new skills for new job. Maybe I have already potential to move forward in this something. Okay, I want to create this. Yeah. And when you will be ready and you have enough lines, we start coloring. As always, uniting several colors in bigger shapes to be able to see bigger pictures. I really enjoy drawing the small bubbles. This really makes me feel, it's like children plays with bubbles, and it has so much light and colors that it creates this happiness, this sense of childish happiness. And I think I want to, and they can be smaller and bigger, and it's okay. I want it be, I just follow my intuition, what I feel inspired by today. So what do I want to explore? Again, I want to repeat, it's very important. Don't be attached to the result. Don't try to make it look beautiful and look it's perfect, because when you start like limiting yourself to create something that will be beautiful but artificial for you, like there will be no organic relationship with this lightness and beauty, you will have no satisfaction. If your soul is demanding some darkness on your drawing, allow it to be expressed. Allow this darkness be on your drawing. Look at this, and maybe you will feel more happier and more honest to yourself that, oh, it's intense, but I'm glad I can see how intense it is. Because like when we tried to excuse ourselves, oh, I don't need really help, everything is fine. And when you see it like, you know, it's not fine, I need help. It's I really, it's a dark place right now. You start expressing this darkness and let it go from your body, from your soul. Like we really, when we draw these colors, when we draw these lines, we pulling this darkness from your side. Because if your drawing will be light and joy and fun, and everybody will say, oh, it's so beautiful and pretty, but your soul will scream, it's not true. You will have more disappointment than really satisfaction. So don't be afraid to ruin anything, because this is your freedom to express your biggest desire of your soul. So I give you permission to make it the way you want. The way not even you, your soul wants. And see how does it really look. See how it's really feels. And maybe if your drawing will be too dark, too intense, maybe some light will appear and will give you the best vision, the best inspiration, the best insight ever. So I have, there was time when I felt like very intense and very dark, and some of these drawings like still be my favorite ones. And I'm like, okay. And it took me some time to really realize why at the beginning I had such a simple drawings and I had such a profound experiences and situations were resolved so fast, and like really enjoyed it so much. Even they like looked like nothing as a Neurographica, like very simplified shapes and very simplified colors. And the answer came to me only not so long ago. But when I start learning more and I knew how to make sure that I will be satisfied with my drawing at the end, I felt like now I start cheating. Like I know how to make satisfaction. So I lost this honesty to myself. I lost this ability to just observe what is getting born on my drawings. And I tried to prevent this from you. Like, don't try to be pretty and innocent. Be yourself. Oh, and some kind of unusual shape. I have so much support. You just watch me fly. Okay. And really, how we it takes some courage and it's usually when we say like, okay, I don't need anybody's help, it's your ego talking. It's you who say like, okay, I'm better than anybody else, nobody can help me, I can do it because I do it better than anybody. So let your ego go, let it rest, and allow other people to be involved, to be accepted, and maybe making some mistakes in the way helping you, but at the same time learn from those mistakes. You will learn, they will learn, everybody will be well educated. So it's always works for the best. There is no mistakes. There is opportunities to learn. Yes?
Anna?
Yes?
Another question is, have you met or have you ever deal with those person who are very eager and they think that they are the best? How do you communicate with them, or how do you keep in touch or leave wherever?
So
What is your experience?
I believe that somebody is appearing in your life. They came to show you, to teach you something. So look at them, like maybe if they have too much ego, maybe you need to learn how to take care of yourself, like, because it's I had such a beautiful definition, like that ego is not about asking to do what you want. It's
from one point, it's really hard to be close with them because you can feel that it goes your esteem down when you see those people or you deal with those people. Is it true?
yes, and it's true because your ego is in touch with their ego, and like there is no room to breathe between them. I've been and I have quite big ego, and I think that ego, healthy ego, is what we need, what makes us move forward, what really makes us to progress. How to deal with the people with a demanding ego? I would, if it's not family members, and ego is really, it's another way to scream that I need attention. And if they cannot receive love and support, they may have, they will activate any other energies that you can give them, any other vibrations that you can throw their way. So if it will be anger, They will take it because nothing else you can give them. You can say, no, you don't have to even say it out loud. You can just say and send them vibration of love and gratitude, and it will maybe enough for them to be satisfied and leave you alone, or transform their attitude towards you, because it's a different energy. So try to just say, again, not even out loud, but just for yourself, like for your attitude to them, like, oh, this is an interesting teacher in my life. I have no idea yet what they're trying to tell me, but I love and I accept it. So, and move on. Don't really, if you don't, and see if this theme of people show up in your life, it means something you really need to learn. You need to learn, maybe you need to learn about boundaries. Maybe you need to learn about how to take care of yourself, how, like, to look what is my ego. And it's so I will think about, Natash. I need to
Sorry,
no,
sometimes I puzzle you.
no,
That-
it's
Those
a
questions just come from your conversation. You start saying something and it just came to my mind. Well, this is the point where we can go or move forward.
and I highly appreciate it. It's a beautiful question. It's very good and very important, because yes,
For some
what
reason,
is
sometimes we don't just think about this until you hear from someone. So
yes,
I'm really happy to attend the classes. Only, not only, but one of the reasons is that I hear you, and something just came to
instant wondering about
come to the mind.
oh
But thank
yes,
you.
like questions could be activating some themes. Okay, I need to write down the question, because to make sure that I need how to deal with egoistic people.
I really like the answer about the boundaries because it's a good one explanation that if the person comes to with this bigger ego and you don't know about boundaries, or your boundaries are really low, and this is a good one.
And it's
you can learn.
And it's actually really the boundaries. Thank you for pointing it, but it's people who don't know their boundaries, they always overstepping somebody else's boundaries. Like when they don't know where their boundaries ending, they don't even notice when they already impacting everybody else in their lives, and some maybe even just some random people. Okay, so shall we start coloring? So if you need some more time, please feel free to take time. And thank you to Ro. I have so many beautiful balloons that I'm actually want to color first. Not something big, but something small. What is really this beautiful lightness could be? Because all my drawings before, as you've seen, like all three, quite intense. How to find this lightness in this beautiful, intense time? And maybe allow it, don't even be intense. It's only my definition, like, okay, so it's gonna be intense. Maybe today I will tell you that it will be light and happy and joyful and creative. At least it will be for me. See, we'll see. I don't know yet. I'm like, this is, I never know how it's gonna look at the end. I don't have any attachment to the outcome. And I'm always curious, like, really, what am I drawing? It's not like we're drawing a bunny and everybody has to have a bunny. We draw our inner emotions, very sacred emotions, and it's can look completely different for each person. Nobody knows how emotions look, so we can be creative. Pavel Piskarev, just like recently, I listened his lesson, and he said that Kandinsky gave the freedom to shape. That he said, like, the shape is free form, and you can use it to express the energy and the meaning in the picture. Malevich gave freedom to the color. So you really don't need to make sure that everything look as it's supposed to be on the picture, as it's realistic. And Piskarev gave freedom to lines, that you even don't have to make sure that you need to know where the line is going. You can allow it be, allow this process exist. Like you, it's like in life. It's a really, the definition of neurographica line is a great definition of life. It goes wherever you don't expect, and you allow, and it's never exactly repeat itself. There is always some variations, and you just allow to be surprised by it. Observe and surprise. This is not my observation. Just yesterday, one of this teacher in the institute that I'm working with right now, another supervisor, we mentioned it. It's like, wow, why I did not notice it? Why is it so beautiful and simple? It's really gives me interesting observation. Okay, I feel like I want more small circles. Everything will be bubbling. So how's your body feeling? So every time I ask, like, what is your feelings? What's your emotions? My intention not to bother you, but to make sure that you're paying attention to your present moment, like that you feel yourself right here, right now, not get distracted by your future, like, and really has this reality check. How is what is going on with you at this moment? And because we pay attention on so many levels that are changing, and so many levels of processes going on, it's much more systems really activated. Like when we pay attention to our body, our physical body is activated and processing the same situation, processing the same information through the body. When we pay attention to our emotional state, it's processing the situation and activating our neurons, like nervous system. and helps you to find resources and integration with this. When we're asking, like, do you have any insights? What are you thinking about? It really gives you some activation of your brain, of your mind, and it gives you some anchors, like mental anchors, emotional anchors, physical anchors, like that you really notice that, okay, process is going on. And you can pay attention which system is more active, which one does not. Because, for example, for me, to notice any physical sensations was quite a challenge. And I'm like, okay. Until I realized that the sensation should not be big ones, like that I don't really have to have a headache to identify that process is going on. I can feel, now I can feel small changes in my body, like shiverings or maybe some I wanted to say eye twitching, but it's not a small one. Some that temperature of the body is changing, that I have this energy movements in my body. All of them really helps me to identify how is it my body reacts. That some processes, some releasing of energy is going on in my physical body as well.
So when I have that deep breath when I'm in the middle of doing something, I know that there's a big release of something that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that.
It's yes, breathing is like really what is very important. How do we breathe? Like
It's
how
like
do
a
we?
deep sigh. Like when I'm doing Reiki on somebody, if they do that deep sigh, I know that they've released something.
I was on 2 or 3 days workshop about all these breathing techniques and about like really concentrating which body part is activating during some actions. And the most important thing that I learned, that you learn how to sigh out with the sound, and you say like, oh, and it gives so much release. Like when you add some sound and you give yourself freedom to express this tension inside of you. So try to do it with the sound. It could be awkward when people around, but it's okay. Nobody is really watching us here. Sometimes I do sigh out with the sound. Look how different this whole picture is, a gentle pink. It's really gives me feeling safe. It's interesting. I want to share you with you. I will not share names. Like yesterday, I worked with a child, and I asked her what for her pink color represents, and her answer was like the least I expected. She said that pink has so much energy that it's really sometimes could be overwhelming, that it's a so intense energy. And like, interesting. This is because for me the energy is a red color, there may be intensities in blue colors, but in gentle pink that it's a could be different flavor of energy. It still represents fire element, but it's not really what makes you hot. It's what makes you be inspired and joyful. At least it's for me. Everybody has a little bit different interpretation for each color, but it was just so interesting, so unusual to see such an association with the color. So look, see which, when we talking about the color, what does it, what kind of emotion does it activate? What kind of message does it tells you? I know that I give sometimes interpretations based on the Chinese philosophy of elements and their colors, but see what is a message for you. But don't try to really initiate any colors to make it just like logically. Try to see which color wants to be on your drawing, like what is really asked to be on your drawing. How is it really working? Okay.
I feel like all of Neurographica is very intuitive process.
Yes. And I've noticed that some of the students at in institute that I'm working as a supervisor right now, and they say that intuition start be activating after you do Neurographica. Like they start knowing who is coming, who is going to give a feedback to their pictures, like, and it's really not logically. There is no significant connection in logic, but it's just activating because you are activating this the new system in your body, like the new resources of the neurons, and the intuition can be very effective in your life. So it's just see, just practice and see. You will know who is calling, who is doing, and it's some information is coming from completely different levels of consciousness when you are dealing with Neurographica. So, okay, I think, no, I'm like, I have not enough pink on my drawing, and I creating new small bubbles. So, but if you want bigger bubbles, you are see what is unusual, what is usually you do, and see how you can create something different. And I don't really even know what this pink mean to me today, but I love the way I feel around them. I feel this bubbles of inspiration. And there are so many of them, different ones. Let's call it, each of them will create a new class about Neurographica. Okay, so what I want, so next color.
I know that you said that you should usually cover 70 colors, 70 to 80%.
Mm-hmm.
And what if you just, like right now, I'm looking at yours with just that pink, and it feels really good to me. Do you need to add other colors?
So I highly encourage to use at least 3 colors.
Okay.
Just because colors represent emotions.
Oh, all right.
And we are such a complex creatures that one emotion will be usually not enough to really express yourself. So I don't
Right.
want these limitations that you can do whatever you want. If you want one color, you can do. You may create the bubbles more complex. You can blend other colors inside. But for me is right now I want to really give this feeling that I want not just bubbles by itself, but I want some flow. I want to make sure that there is a flow and there is a concrete direction. So this, at least this is what I see on my drawings. It's not something that I mentally want to create, but something that I really want to experience. And we'll see how it really goes. And you can create, you can color specific shapes, or you can create the flow and unite different shapes in unusual forms. Unusual forms really important. And another thing that I wanted to mention at the beginning, when we start drawing, especially when you just start drawing Neurographica, you will see many shapes that will be reminding you hearts, and you will remind you birds, butterflies, wing of a butterfly. And it's okay, because your mind will need the shapes to give some meanings, to give some understanding what does it represent in your life. But when you draw Neurographica for long enough, those shapes will be not needed. You will see the beauty and love in every circle. So you will get more and more abstract, and it will be the same feelings, the same meanings. It will be much more intense symbols, probably, because your mind is kind of trained that, okay, abstract is fine. I can make some sense out of this abstract shapes. And it's okay. So if you see different shapes, this is good. If you see beauty in just in the flow, it's even better. So both of them has just different not, it's just differently processing. Your mind, it's what your mind is really requiring. It's not what your body is demanding. Okay, I want some blue. And I always, like, my first drawings were always about birds, butterflies, and I really felt like I have this clear messages from my drawings. And now I don't have any birds, but I still have this very clear understanding and insights. So there is no really judgment what is good, what is bad. It's just different. This will be the fresh water moving. And you can blend colors if you want, just or you can stay in boundaries of those lines. It's really up to you. I see some of this, some of my students, they really, the lines are completely different story from coloring. Like there is nothing really in common between lines and colors, and it's just a different personality. And their drawings are very beautiful, and they have many insights and support from their drawings. So don't try to be as others. Be yourself. And I encourage people to try different materials. Try to see, maybe you need, like in school, in the institute, highly encouraged to draw with pencils. Like, and everybody is drawing with pencil, with markers. But I see more and more beautiful paintings with watercolors. And a friend of mine, she draws acrylic paintings with Neurographica, with elements of Neurographica. And it's beautiful, and it's so powerful that it's like, I would never say that, like, don't do it. Do it and show it to me. This is my encouragement. And I like last few days, I'm really trying to see what kind of paint, watercolor paint I need to buy. So I try to do it myself as well. I try to do with watercolor pencils, and it did not really work well for me. So I want to see if a watercolor paint will be better. Again, I believe that Neurographica is give you so much freedom that it's really just a beginning for your creativity journey. So you can start with something, because Neurographica, everybody can do it. My father is doing Neurographica. My mother is doing Neurographica. The ages really doesn't define who can or not. 6 years old, my youngest student can do it. So, and everybody can draw, everybody, we just forget it. Like if you give it to 5 years old or 6 years old, they will never question it, like they cannot draw, like they maybe cannot draw bunny, or they cannot draw exactly as the picture tells, but they never questioned it, like I cannot draw at all. So, and if you can hold the pencil, you can do it. If you cannot hold the pencil, try to hold brush. I have interesting. This drawing now looks like a Buddha hand. You know, this interesting fruits that we have this long fingers that called Buddha hand. This is will be my Buddha hand. Okay, let it be. Okay. It's so much relaxing when you don't really, when it's not so intense, like and of course the drawing is just reflecting what is going on inside of me. But even just noticing that my drawings from so dark and so intense, beautiful, but it still be intense, are able to transform in some lightness. It's encouraging. And I know I want to go here as well. It will be 6 fingers hand.
Are you using Prismacolor pencils?
Yes. Usually I use Prismacolor pencils because they are just softest.
Yeah.
And I love how they blend to each other. So I use sometimes, and sometimes I use Faber-Castell.
Oh, okay.
They cheaper and metallic color. So this is the set metallic colored. I love the way they look. They look really not metallic, but they look more like gentler. They're softer, so there is no so much intensity in them, which it's a good difference for me. And just a regular set without metallic, I love the golden color. The golden color is really golden, so it's not in Prismacolor. The gold color is quite dark.
Oh, yeah.
But this one, this is the biggest difference I found. This one, this yellowish golden, and it really looks very good on drawings. So it's lighter. It still has this shimmering going on, and they so cheap. The 24 is less than $10, so it's
Is that what you were using when you did the shadow work one? You added gold.
I think so. Maybe. I don't really remember exactly which brand I used, but I use it quite often. So just recently I did a big drawing. Let's see if I can find. We did a beautiful meditation about 4 rooms. So this is, I used the golden color. So you see the golden on top is a marker. This is a pen, but this yellow, this is actually golden.
What is the brand of the marker that you used?
Okay, something fall. I use, I have this set on Amazon.com. It's a Uniball. This is pen.
Okay.
And they are quite good ones. So they.
I think that's what you used in that other drawing in the one I was just asking about. That's nice.
Yes, the silver was on this one. Silver one.
Oh.
Yeah, this is how it really looks, and it's easy to work with.
Is it Uniball Elite?
One more time.
Is it Uniball Elite?
It's a Uniball Signo.
Oh, okay.
It's a Signo. It's a Japanese Mitsubishi Mitsubishi Pencil Company, made in Japan.
Nice.
But you can buy it on Amazon. They sell in sets of 3 or 9, and it's because I draw a lot, I usually buy 9. There is actually like so many other metallic pencils and colors. For beginners, we, especially like in institute, we do not encourage to use metallic because it's very hard to integrate metallic colors in the picture. They have such a unique qualities, and they don't really blend with anything. So it takes a challenge to integrate so it doesn't look foreign. So it looks united with the whole picture, because it can be just representing a different layer of golden field lines, and it's really not waved or integrated with anything else, and it seems artificial. So don't try to use them until you really know how to do the other techniques. I was when I just started to do, I was so in love with my metallic colors, and I use them all the time. And every time my teachers and super mentors say don't use it, we don't accept your drawings because you don't know yet how to integrate them. And now when I look back, it's really looks just okay. I'm by myself, universe is very golden, very beautiful, and it's by itself. So and we exist in some kind of parallel realities and not really interacting. So when you use just a thickness of lines, really gives you the sense that it's become part of you, that it's become of your inner world, it's your psychic. But it's when it's just existing, just existing is not enough. It needs to be integrated with you. So this is very important to really understand about field lines. That's why we round all those corners that it's creating, because this gives us opportunity to integrate it, to really create this beautiful imprint in our mind, in our psychic, in our consciousness, that it's not just existing. We know, everybody knows that universe is existing. We are part of the universe, but how to use those resources and feel them to be and be aligned with them. So it's very important to have this support. Okay, interesting. And I say that I encourage everybody to have at least 3 colors. Let's see. And I use really for, if we're talking about some materials today, I use these pencils to such size. And of course, it's almost impossible to use them in such size. So I use extensions. You can just put it inside, so it will gives you this ability to hold. So, and you can use it for shading still there. But I can use right now I feel like I'm spoiled with all this materials that I have. It's really not a necessity to have so many materials. It's when I'm traveling, I have just few pencils and maybe markers, and sometimes one pen and any paper is enough to really make it work. So I don't really need so much to make anything beautiful. It could be just a black marker and it will be beautiful already.
The pencils you do use, you mentioned, is it the Prismacolor by Verithin or Verithin Prismacolor?
It's a just called Prismacolor. I don't know
Yeah,
by who.
Okay, I think I have some old ones.
Yeah, so this is a Prismacolor Premier, and they there is a different brands. Like I use it's a Prismacolor is a brand, but there is a different qualities. So I use Premier because it's the softest one. But there is a Scholar. I know that it's harder for kids and it's harder lead. But and another in the middle, something in the middle, Vertigo or some another word that I of course don't remember. So the Premier is the softest, and this brand is like really lasting for many years. So it's a very old brand, and I see that some people start complaining that it's not as it used to be. But I've never tried what it used to be. So I'm quite happy with what it is right now. So if you have old ones, you're probably one of those lucky people who has as it used to be.
It's clear I need to do an upgrade. my pencils.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And what do you use as a pencil sharpener? You have so many. How do you keep them all sharp?
I have 4 right now on my table. The easiest and the most effective for me is Stadler.
What is it?
Because
can you show me again? Stark.
It's a Stadler. It's a German brand. It's Staedtler, Stadler. And the reason, because it has 2 holes, for wider and for regular size. And I use dry highlighters, the same brand Stadler, and they're very good at blending and very bright and very, I just love them. And it's the only hole that is really can be sharpened in a bigger hole. I have some electrical ones. I have a very wide sharpener for very thick pencils, but that I barely use. So this raw, if you purchase this magic colors, magic pencils, Kohinoor, you will probably need this big Kohinoor sharpener, because nothing really, this pencil doesn't really fit in any hole. So it's really a challenge. Oh, actually you can, in this one, I have a digital, it's double hole sharpener, and it's the big ones really fit in, but it's for some reason it's turned off right now, but you can sharpen it as well. So there is the big thick pencils. I love them. I use them for group projects when we have several people working on a big size, but it's a pain in the neck to sharpen them. So it's that's why I use them mostly for group projects, but they really cover.
I did find those big pencils, and I have a couple of these sharpeners with the
big holes. Yeah. So I had to buy this sharpener, and it was delivered to me from, I think, from Germany or from Czech Republic. It's made in Germany. So I'm like, I have so many supplies from all around the world. And so I'm always trying different stuff, and it's interesting. Like, but I'm very big fan of Prismacolor. So this, I have a different colors. Like as a quality, I love Kohinoor, and it's affordable, and it's available everywhere. It's available in Russia. It's available in Europe. And it's a good quality. It's a very decent quality. So most of my first 2 years of my Neurographica was used as pencils. So this is only when I become instructor, when I went to school, and I noticed that one of the students used these pencils. I was so jealous that I had to buy it. And I really loved it. So it's really you learned, and constantly they creating new supplies, and it's such a wasting money for me. It's quite but when I teach classes, I'm so happy when somebody is using my materials, because there is no way I can use it in my life, even if I don't buy anything else. And still it will still be enough for the rest of my life, and maybe for my grandchildren.
That's true. I think my pencil sharpener I'm using must be from when I was 5, which
wow.
I was 45 years old.
Nice.
Yes,
Nice.
but I think it's time. It doesn't do a very good job. It eats my pencils.
So
I think it's time for an upgrade after 45 years.
Yeah, this is the sharpener of my grandpa used. Yeah.
There's a famous architect that is based in Berkeley. He went to the Beaux-Arts in France, and hit Maybach, and his house is for sale. And it's a hugely overpriced house, perhaps, but they say his original pencil sharpener sits in the study, and it showed this big picture, and that's how the house was marketed. And it's his Maybach's pencil sharpener glued to the wall in the study, which I think is what part of the premium.
It's quite an investment, yes, in the sharpener. Yeah.
From the 20s.
Nice. Who knows? Maybe if I'm going to be famous and I will sell all these pencils that I have, I think I have maybe 1,000 pencils now, really, because I'm teaching, and it's very hard to. Especially when I go to the jail, everything should be sorted out, and you have to create this special bags so you know how you brought, how much you took back.
Yeah.
And so there is no way I can create those bags every time. So I have the big bin of sorted pencils for this event, the big bin for this event, and some pencils for myself. So I have this many pencils that are right now sitting in those bins. Never, I don't say never. I hope it will be someday. It will be back on track. But it's some of this interesting. I have this river with all this interesting movement here. So how's your coloring? Does it really, usually what I feel when I start coloring, this is where my inner child awakened completely, and I feel this urge of inspiration and fun, and really enjoying the process. Even if sometimes it's not, could be quite intense, but still there is this coloring book, let's color. So how is about you? Is it joyful or is it challenging? So there is no right answer. So it's just What do you feel?
I'm still rounding, but I love coloring.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I would say I was sometimes struggling, like, because I don't know which colors to choose. Like, you start coloring and then like, well, what is the next color? And like, wow. Maybe
So-
because I didn't have enough experience in my childhood coloring. I don't know.
Yeah, train this muscle. So one of these interesting exercises that you can practice, if you have a difficulty to choose colors, you can close your eyes and just pull any 3 colors or 4 out of your bucket of pencils and make sure that you make something out of it. Like that, first of all, there will be no random colors. There will be a message in those colors. And even from this 4, there will be something that you use the most of the time. Some of them you use just a little bit. And it's, and another thing that it may help you, when you know that you will make beauty from any resources you have right now, it will give you such a freedom and not anxiety about like, oh, what if I make mistakes? What if it will be, this color will be better than this one? It's probably will be better, but it will be different. So it's so you just go with the flow and experience what is there is no mistakes. And it's I want you just have fun with this and feel this potential that you can do anything from anything.
But for example, I have like maybe 5 colors of blue. They just lighter and darker. Should I like separate the colors in the main color and then close the eyes and pick each color, or just leave it like what I have in the box and just pick it up?
What does your soul want? Like really, you ask yourself, what I want? What do I want? Like which color I want? Which color is my favorite here? Even out of this 4 or 5 of blue color, there still be something is more enjoyable, some may be more intense, and see how you blending them. You maybe blend, like maybe you stay with this blue will be this segment, this blue will be this element, or maybe you allow yourself to merge them and blend them in a beautiful transition so you don't really see where they changing. And it's different when you use a different shades of the same color, like different blues, it gives you the different flavors of the same emotions, of the same feelings. You don't need to be always intense. You can be, and you can recognize that, yes, I can be kind and just looking at something, or I can be kind by trying to really help and get involved with actions to do it. And the same, blue colors can be about wisdom, and it can be about fears as well. So see which color may be representing wisdom in your drawing, maybe something representing fears. And it's okay to have both of them. Like we need both of them. They both are surviving mechanisms. So you don't really say like, oh no, I don't want any fears in my life. How do you identify what is safe for you if you don't have all of them? So play with colors.
I want to mention something about colors that I'm learning about me. So when I start playing with colors, in one moment, in the beginning, I enjoy it and have fun with it. And then I see that I want to color it logically, to construct it, the color, not the lines. The lines are something that I really have fun with and don't direct it. But with colors, I see that I want to control it logically. That word comes to mind. Which will be the logical color here? And then I put myself into a little bit of a struggle. So
And it's thank you, Elka. It's a beautiful observation, and I will give you some clues.
sure.
Lines represent thoughts, and you are very free with your thoughts.
Yeah.
But colors represents emotions.
Okay. Wow.
So see, especially each theme is different, and each theme you may notice the difference in lines and colors, what is dominating. See around which objects, each meanings you are more controlling. What do you like? How do you really, what triggers the controlling? Do you want to stay in boundaries all the time, or you want to stay in like really how to communicate with others, objects around you? What, because how do you try to blend in with the rest of the world? There are different triggers for you, and it will be much more helpful if you just notice what is what are those triggers, what is the priorities for you.
Thank you.
But it's a beautiful observation, so that's
Thank you.
you're welcome. Oh, it's such a beautiful conversations we have today. I'm like, so I don't really have to give you big speeches about light and darkness and all this interesting philosophical stuff. And it's remind me that for next class, we need to prepare something very special so we can play with this. And it's interesting, like I did not really, I wasn't aware that at the same time, all students in Institute of Psychology in Russia will do quite similar stuff that we are going to do. So they will do it more intense, and they will do several drawings. We will do at least one and see if we will can do it later. Okay, so let's.
What is it about, Anna? I didn't get it.
I'll tell you just in a second.
Okay.
Show you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you how we are going to use our pictures to learn and accept the way we look, the way we feel about ourselves, and really to see, establish a new relationship with with myself. So we will need to take our digital picture, any picture, and do a sketching of this picture. Like on my Facebook, I have posted a software that you can access online and just process any pictures that you have and print it on just letter size and later we will draw on it. We will use skinny markers to draw on it and see. Let's me. Okay, so okay, I found the link and I will let you hear.
So it's just we go online, we choose our picture, and we just choose the print.
Yes, yes. You go find the pictures that you want to work with, any portrait that you can see your face, and you use this link that I typed in chat, snaptouch.com pencil sketch, and you can process it, and it will create this light black and white outline of your drawing, and it's really helping, and it's really helps to work with. And the focus is, and later we will start drawing on it. At the end, you may have something very similar, like of course the different lines and different resources you can work with. And I'll show you this. I worked with my another portrait, and I'll show you that I worked with a portrait of my mom, and I could bring some resources and some connections for her as well. And I worked, this is a little bit intense, but this is, I worked with my teachers that I wanted to really have a different level connection. So I worked with my children to feel connected. And you can work with some places as well. So yes, this is the church that we had wedding. So this was, the intention was to have this connection to this spiritual place for me. Very important.
Beautiful.
So you can, I highly recommend to work with the, your own portrait, because it will give you completely different relationship with your outlook, especially if you struggle with aging. This could be very healing for you to find the beauty and reconnect to your inner beauty in the way you look. So
What really means with aging, you said?
yes, with aging, like yes, if you don't like all wrinkles
on
your face, you can have.
If you just do not accept the time that comes.
You are too young to understand yet. But some people are. So I'm not one of those, but it's still there. So if you have this
But there are some people,
challenges.
yeah, but there are some even teenagers and youngers when they do not accept themselves,
Yes,
you know?
it's not about just aging. It's about really accepting me as a beautiful being, and how by my face and my body as well. So you can work, like we will work with portrait and only with our face, and really you can work with the whole body picture. And one of them, let's see, where did I put it already? Because I did drawing. Let's see, there was some pictures that I was creating. So many. Like I took the pictures that I really hated of mine, and I created a beautiful tree out of it. And I have a different connection to my body and to my picture as well. So it's just how to find a different relationship, beautiful relationship, in something that you has challenges to accept. So it's just it could be very very sacred experience when you touch something that represents your body. And you
Wow,
can,
I have never seen this before. It's really amazing. Looks like, I mean, the theme and the concept.
so I love these exercises. It's like I've done, and you can do it like many times, because it's really gives you different layers of connection to yourself. Like I've done one picture and I wasn't as happy and there was some unease, and I've done another one, but because I cleaned one level, I was able to find a different communications with my body and with myself. Importantly, it's with myself.
I have a question. I did not understand where should we find that link so we can print that.
So, Elka, you can find this link on my Facebook page.
Okay.
Or right now you can open chat.
Here. Okay, I see.
Here, yes. And in chat, you see two links. First link is to the group where you may connect to, join this group. It's a public group that me and Nat is administrating. And this group is for everybody who wants to share their drawings and feel and be connected to the community of English speaking people in love with Neurographica. It's a great opportunity to find and be connected to like-minded people, and post your stories about your connection and your insights from the experiences. And another link is a snaptouch.com pencil sketch. This is the software available online for free to everyone, where you can upload your digital picture and it will create this I love the quality and easiness, how it really gives the outlines of any photographs. And when it's light and not so demanding, you can start we will start drawing on it and see how it's what wants to be seen in your relationship. So it's really interesting. It's not like I want to draw myself big eyes, I want to draw myself big lips. It's not. It's you start drawing line and see where does it lead to you. Where does it lead you? What does it want to show you? Maybe it's bringing one of my pictures, it's lines created the third eye, or maybe it's open your some chakras, and maybe it gives you some voice to speak up. So it's a very sacred and very unique experience when you can be one-on-one with yourself and see what is your beauty, what is your power, and how you see yourself. We know that it's important how other people sees us, but the most important really, what do you see in yourself? What do you really what is the pressure, not pressure, but what is the treasure of yourself?
And when is that, on Friday?
The Friday and next Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I have already some other classes in mind, but if you have any particular methods or themes that you want to be covered in during these classes, let me know. So because it will be interesting. So with Russian group, we did a class about Ho'oponopono, And it was a very interesting and very insightful experience for me, because like, of course, I get ready and I have this background to make sure that I understand correctly the method before I can teach anybody. But it's there was a very important element in this preparation that discovered me some new relationship with everything, that everything is connected on some kind of, on at least at one level of consciousness. And maybe I have already some techniques that can be useful for you. And if it's not, I can invent something. It's always fun. It's always fun to create something beautiful. And at the end, which is we are almost there, 3 hours again, just fly by. We need to, if you have this field line that we originated, like that we started with, if you need to highlight them, please do so. Please make sure that you notice them, that this is your journey, life journey, and this is just a small segment of this life. And there is some lessons that you need to learn on this journey. And it's really a beautiful experience how to be how to really see the meaning in everything that is going on with you. There is no just because. There is always a lesson. There is always an opportunity to grow in everything. Sometimes not pleasant experiences, but if you give it a purpose, it's more powerful. It's more encouraging and much less suppressing. So it's just different attitude to life in general. Okay, and now I have this interesting.
So Anna, I have a question. So if I do see those lines, I don't have to do anything. Is it right?
Yes, if they still be very clear to you, yes, you can leave them as they are. If it's if you want to make them bolder, you can make them bolder. So it's
I just turn on my camera.
Oh, you've done. Let's yours looks like a space, open space with all these beautiful planets, and I really love how you blended these green colors.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm learning this skill because I really like how you blend this. So I'm like trying from the blue and light green, do some betweens those colors.
Yeah, it's you really have this interesting cosmic events going on. But I love how, like, even it's deep blue you used, all this beautiful golden circles, they really give the sense of light and lightness. It's like really there is no overpowering intensity in your drawing, so
And
which is very good.
deep blue, is it what really means? I don't remember.
So blue, every feeling has this scale of, every color has this scale of feelings, and blue in Chinese philosophy may represent, in the best it could be wisdom, in the lowest vibrations it can represent fears. So, but it all represents the depth of emotions and depth of understanding. So it's really that it's
So-
not just a shallow water in yours.
So it's just me to decide if I'm in low vibration or high vibrations, right?
You can be you may access both of them, and they both present in our lives. There is I still don't I still believe that there is no good or bad. There is sometimes we need both of them, and it's only you who decide which one you want to use right now.
And I wonder, when I started coloring little roundings, I just realized that, well, we do usually in Neurographica color several segments. So, but I still see in yours also we have those just little ones. So it's okay still to have it.
It's okay. It's maybe a small seed that needs to be planted, and eventually it will be more complex, and it's like a first cell that it will grow and multiply and will be developing in something beautiful. And it's look how much it gives you opportunity to choose from different sizes and different colors as well. Okay, does anyone else wants to share?
Thank you.
Thank you. So, and again, what when we're talking about this intense blue colors, I always look if this blue color is stagnated, if it's suppressed by other colors around, and it's if you isolating your element from the borders of your page, this is meaning that you are suppressing it. That you most likely it's representing fears. In yours, it has so much space and free movement, and there is no limitations, that it's a really great opportunity to find wisdom in this spaciousness, in this openness, in this it's that's why I told, like, the first impression is like, really, how this deep blue night sky, like, it gives this depth and vastness, and it does not really gives any fears. At least it doesn't give me. So it's just no limit. It's something beyond limitations. Fears is always about limitations, but yours is beyond. What do you see in your drawings? Like, it's the most important, what you see. What kind of associations you have with your drawing? Maybe you see blue ocean with beautiful islands. It's a different interpretation as well. Okay. Does anyone else want to share? Okay, Ro. Wow. Quality of Neurographica drawing is defined by how many lines we have. You have very, very well high quality drawing, and I love how multiple circles you have, like how much that you allow yourself to grow and be different layers. I'm just curious how it will be, how you are going to color them. Are you planning to, well, let's see how you will color them. I'm like really curious about it. So when you, especially when you have so many lines, make sure that you do very clear fixation at the end.
Okay.
Because when there's so much, and it could be overwhelming, that your mind is restless, like really you're thinking so much. That's why you have so many lines. But make sure that you make some priorities on your drawing. It could be several priorities, but make them stand out from the rest of the drawing, and it gives you some kind of peace and focus. So this is.
Should I do that with color and bolding?
You can use both. I prefer to do highlight with colors, because they usually gives me this 3D effect.
Okay.
But you can do it with, if you, especially when you have so many colors, you can define it with bolder lines as well.
Okay.
And it's interesting, for example, on my drawing, I have like very thick line, this resource, but for me, the most important is this yellow circle that is just standing on the side, is really not much interacting with the rest of the drawing, just observing it, but it gives this sense of light, like there is a light from it. There is, I feel at least it's supporting the rest of the drawing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so does anyone else?
I don't know how to put my, can you see my picture?
Wait, I've seen it and I've just like, let's me.
Okay.
Yes, I see. Just a little bit higher.
Here?
Yes, yeah. So a little bit more higher. I want to see, yes, beautiful.
Okay.
So what, I love how wide is your path. And this is very important. I want to bring your attention that these two almost merging circles bring some support to them. So they like, I know that they already two of them, so they don't feel lonely, but bring the resources and support from outside, from the ground. It could be a circle underneath that can holding, just so they both of them don't have to hanging on to each other, so they can rest a little bit, because it's a very important to give this support from the ground. And another thing that you can activate here, you may bring this ancestry line supporting you as well. And like just a circle, like on my drawing, I have this big circle that's supporting what is the whole structure of this busyness in my drawing. So I can have a little bit resting on it. So I don't have to control everything. So I can just trust and allow it to be existed. So this is for some reason, see how this bottom line is very few objects you have there. Yeah, and bottom line is always representing grounding, is representing roots, it's representing families. So there is a huge resources and they always available, but you need to invite them in your life. So you can intentionally, you can invite each of them separately, or you can just and create a circle for each of them, or you can just create one big circle that will hold you and name it resources that I need right now. So
Perfect.
it could be group of people, it could be knowledge, it could be just your own feeling of be supported. And it's interesting, several of your circles are really uniting in couples, like
Yeah.
some coupling is going on there.
Interesting now that you pay attention to that, because this is how I feel. My son with his girlfriend of almost 7 years, me with my husband for 30 years, but and friends, but I need the ancestor support.
Yes, invite them, because it's very obvious on the drawing when you look at it. Like when you again, when I look on my drawings, it's very hard to see some patterns that I'm going on through, because it's hard to see an elephant when you are seated in the elephant. Only when you invite a person from outside, like from your system, that are not emotionally attached to your situations, they have completely different view on your drawing. And like, this seems like unsupported, this seems not connected. How do you feel about it? When you when I give you the my insights, the goal is not like, oh, it's cute, it's pretty, everything is pretty, everything is very beautiful, but really what is strikes my perception, like what is out of balance for me, and for different persons it could be different. So different instructors can give you different insights. And one more thing, Elka, when you bring those resources,
yes,
you bring more lines to really, like when you draw a circle, you make sure that you grow your roots, your neural lines, to access this resource. Because, for example, this is could be you, this is could be resource or bigger resource. It's a little bit awkwardly ugly, but there is no really communication between them. So I encourage you to draw some neural lines, really grow those roots to access and suck in this energy that they available to give you. So you grow and expand yourself, just, and of course you round all these corners, but you don't just allow them like, oh, I know I have support from my ancestors. Do you feel the support? No. Do you really ask for the help when you need them? No. So you need to really give me your help. I need it. I want to rest. I want to feel calm. I want to feel peace, and I want to belong to the family. This feeling belonging and connecting to the family is the most important feelings when we need. So don't be shy. Don't be modest. This is your birthright to ask for help from your ancestors. So do it. And I have to say, the dead ones who are passed away are more open to give it. When our ancestors are passed away and they're different level, there is no ego, there is no stagnated personality, so they are more open to give this pure energy. So access to who is available. And we have like in 5, I think it's seven generations, we have over 250 ancestors.
Wow.
Maybe 5, like I'm now confusing with math. So at least one will be available, at least. And I think that will be even much, much more. It really doesn't matter from which level of ancestry line you bring it, as long as it's available, you take it. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So any other questions or any other sharings? Oh, wait. I've seen Nat is wanted to share.
Yeah, this is,
Okay.
yeah, here it is.
It's like a rainbow. It's really such a pleasure to see when something is light during such intense times. It's very inspiring. It's really how we can be not overwhelmed and just feel joy at any time. It's only my we draw our joy, my personal joy. So, and I see that you already did some fixations that the central circle is important for you.
Yes, yes.
Nice. And it's a very, I love how feminine your drawing is. It's really gentle. Gentle and feminine. This is like the two words that are coming to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that everything is at flow. There is no stagnation. There is no limitation. So everything is moving. Everything is dynamic, and it's not overwhelming. Even there are so many colors, it still be gentle. So I'm glad you have. Do you feel this gentleness inside of you right now?
Yes, it is. I feel very inspired, and it's nice looking forward. And I love how the future is in my drawings. Just looking
Unfolding, yeah.
more optimistic. Yes, thank you.
Good, because when you have this vibration of being optimistic about your future will be it has no other options but being
Yes,
optimistic to you.
yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. So my son was born 19 years ago at this time, and I was thinking all the time about this, being a young mother.
Okay, so motherhood is a very, it's a learning curve. You really learned a lot with children. So it's and Gemini may represent children as well on different, like it's more like education, but it's a young age, like your childhood may represent as well. So maybe it's time to accept that he's a man now.
Oh yes, yes, it's time.
It was a
Absolutely.
difficult and challenging time for me that accept that my son is not a boy anymore, that it's a grown man, and it's let him go. It was emotional because there is always a list of what I did not teach him, or maybe what I said too much, and it's like all this
Yes.
going through emotions can be challenging, but congratulations. So
thank you.
will be maybe in others. It's interesting which house is it, because it's if it's about related to children, like direct children, it's usually not only Gemini, but it could be the fifth house. It may represent self-employment as well, your own business, and it can be just a different child, because business is requires a lot of attention and a lot of caring from the beginning. So it's just look at your chart, see which house is really Gemini you have.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, thank you.
And it's a lot of creativity again. Creativity. It's joy in general. Could be new love as well. So there is so many levels of this different interpretation of the same house, and this is really what triggers and my love to astrology. When I learn, like sometimes we have like why is everything happens at the same time? Like, why is it my relationship, my money, and I start looking like gaining weight and like so much going on at the same time, like when I need support. And it's the simple answer, because everything is just related to one planet. And if the planet is affected, of course, all this aspect that it's mentoring, it's affected. So to see and prepare yourself, it's an interesting opportunity to really navigate in the life. But I'm not very good at preparing myself ahead. I'm usually see like, okay, what is going on right now? Where should I navigate in the right moment? So I don't really look forward, because, and it's really fun, but it's a dangerous ride. So my navigation is helping me like through the Neurographica. That's why is really enjoying it. Okay, look at me. It's 3 p.m. and I'm already done with my talking. So does anyone else want to share, or are we ready to finish?
I have one more question.
Okay, Ro.
Because I have so many lines, you said there's a lot of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little more about that? Because I was just trying to add a lot of resources.
So lines, as I already said, represent thoughts. And if you have so desire to draw so many lines on your drawing,
okay,
it's usually that your mind is restless and you're always creating all these questions and curiosity. But it's a good thing, because when you're curious about life, of course you're asking a lot of questions. Another thing that it can be that when you have this something, when you learn something new, you may you need to create this new neurons connections related to this new possibilities in your life, to really activate them, because it's we have already with age, we have so many strong connections in between some neurons that are really stagnated, and it's hard to change them. So we need to work like harder to not break them, but make other new connections bolder, stronger, and maybe just in general, much more connections.
That makes so much sense.
And this is just representing what is going on in your mind. And it's that's why you have so many insights from each of your drawings, because you're working like really unfolding all these thoughts represented on your drawing. Every line bringing something from your subconscious, some not answered questions, and it's in a beautiful way. It gives some pictures and it gives you some insights. So only you, like there is only you can give exact interpretation. So as I said, like right now, if you need for your mind, maybe it's easier to give interpretation and from associations related to the pictures. And it's okay. I had many pictures in my first years of education, like learning Neurographica. Now I can work with really pure symbols. Circle is enough for me, representing feeling love and support and lightness at the same time. So I don't really need to see a bird or butterfly to feel this lightness and inspiration. So it's just a different, there is a progress. And it's again, it's a cure for your mind. It's not cure for your soul. It's a, mind still needs to, like, I need explanation. I need to grab on something that I can identify, something that I can be related to. And like a concept that circle represents beauty and love is so so too much that it will have the different shapes identification. So don't feel that it's needed, but don't feel sorry that you have so many of them. Like, it's a, use it. If they talk to you, listen to them, allow them to be visible. So don't really like, oh, I see this bird, but I'm not going to color it. Like, so don't be honest to you. Like, if you want to see the bird, allow this bird to cheer and sing a song to you. So there is no need in it, but it's there is a beauty and meaning in it as well. So
Oh, I love the abstract. I'm not, that's why I was surprised I had so many known shapes in the last drawing that I did, because I usually don't care to have the butterflies and the birds and stuff like that. And I'm really loving all of the circles.
they're very beautiful.
Was I wanting to do more lines around the circles, more circles. And that to me represented a repetition. So what you're saying is, because I'm older, that's how I learn, is in repetition. And I think that's
any school is about repetitions, any school. So it's not just about the age. Like the 5 years old, they will repeat the same thing over and over to build up these neuron connections to make sure that they will remember it till the old age. So it's really just a representation that we're learning.
Yeah, that's how I've always learned, just by repetition. Thank you.
Thanks, Ro, for sharing it. I wanted to say something, but I forgot about, so it's not important. Okay, so if you want to share your picture, there will be a link in info box, and in chat you can find the Facebook Neurographica coach group in Facebook, and let's be connected after classes, and we'll prepare some sketch for our next class and be excited about connection to our outlines and our
Anna, another question. This group that you just sent the link today, is it only for your students or all who do Neurographica?
So any Neurographica students who can speak English, welcome. Yeah, because there is so many groups that are Russian speaking, and we want to really start creating this beautiful community for any Neurographica students who can communicate. It really doesn't, the distance doesn't matter. It's open for everyone, so if you want to invite anybody, please do so. So there is no limitation. It's a public group. We just accept, especially if we see that like it's a, we have some common friend like you. We don't really try to invite any promotions and marketing there. So just this one, we'll save some rules that we can promote our courses and classes there, but not like no products that we want to be encouraged there. The idea is really to create the community that can be available to support and accept each of us, and see, like I'm always amazed to see how different everybody is. And it's I personally learn from when I see something in another drawing and I want to try it and like see what is, it will not be identically the same, but it will give me some clues how I can look at my drawings differently, how I can learn some new skills, and maybe what I really need to learn. So professional artists are very good source to look and learn something from them. So, and we have some of this as well. So invite people and be part of this community, because it's very encouraging and very inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. And last question, I'm not sure if you have time. If not, we can just
Okay, shoot
next
the
time.
question, so it's okay.
You said we can ask you for some new team or techniques. What was it? I mean, some ideas.
Uh-huh.
So are those ideas should be about the theme of drawing or the techniques of drawing?
So those themes are more about any methods that are existing by itself, like business models or some strategies or healing modalities, or maybe some themes
Have you already done those spirals? I'm not sure what they stand for. I do know. I do remember that
we used a spiral just for the shadow work to unite everything, but we did not do any particular classes about spirals. And I will. Okay.
Yeah, I just had one class. Yeah, and I like it, but it wasn't deep. I did not. Yeah, this my last drawing was. So I would love to learn more about spiral technique or how it can help. I mean, if no one. If somebody
let me do some research, because spirals are such a very it's a complex subject. There is many different interpretations about it, and so there, I will. I need some time, so it will be on my list. Okay.
Oh, all
Thank
right.
you for bringing this subject. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and ladies. So some of you I can see on Friday. Some of you I'll see next Wednesday, or some of you I'll see on Monday. So there will be different opportunities. As always, thank you a lot for joining us. We have a very international class today, even with people from Russia. So thanks to them. It's a very high pride that people can speak English. So to hold my 3-hour speech. If you know somebody who is in different countries and they can understand and they could be benefit from it, please feel free to share. And it's time to say goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Until soon.